What is happening, everyone? Welcome back, and if it's your first time here, just plain welcome. We are going today back to balmy Buffalo, New York. Yeah, I've spent more time talking about stuff there than I ever wanted to spend in Buffalo, New York. But you know, when you got that kind of a shit show, you just cannot afford to not pay attention. Because you see, their attorney, the Buffalo Public School attorney, decided to speak out. And holy shit, did he fuck up. Now, the attorney's name is Robert Boreanaz, and he, again, is the attorney for the Buffalo Public Schools. Probably the same attorney that has suggested, allegedly, that the school shouldn't cooperate with law enforcement about little trivial subjects like sexual abuse and assault and sexual assault and, you know, anything remotely troubling in the world. But where he screwed up most was he decided to tangle with SVU detective Rich High, a.k.a. AngryCops. Oh, yeah. And the rest of the unsubscribed crew, and by extension, yours truly. Because, as I've said from the start, I'm taking this shit personal as fuck. So let's hear what Boreanaz has to say. We're going to start with how he thinks Rich should have approached the whole situation. You know what? Pause this. Go get some popcorn. You're going to want it.
The school district is, engaged a third-party investigator, and we look forward to having that independent evaluation. This podcaster's made outrageous claims, not from his Buffalo police detective desk, in a written memo through the proper chain of command with the proper support of police brass or district attorney.
Hey, Bob. Can I call you Bob? Okay, great. Bobby, what the fuck do you think a memo is going to do when your clients are alleged to have completely ignored subpoenas from the district attorney's office? What about the fact that they're destroying closed circuit TV footage that kind of important for evidence in cases, including the alleged kidnapping, where the dude was just arraigned on 2 counts of kidnapping? He wasn't charged with that before Rich started talking, by the way. Now he is. Your clients allegedly deleted footage necessary for that prosecution, by the way, and if this dude walks, it's on y'all. But you think Rich should have written a memo? I mean, yeah, because a memo is so much more than a subpoena, right? He could have just typed up a memo and sent it up the chain of command. Jesus fucking Christ. I didn't know they let retarded people in goddamn law school. I mean, it's absolutely mind-blowing. You actually think this is what he should have done. Actually, it's not. Because you and I both know you would have ignored it. You would have said, none of it's true. Without a little bit more evidence, you'd have just dismissed it. You wouldn't have started cooperating because that was the easy thing. You could have done that years ago, right? Years ago. And you didn't. Y'all didn't, all right? That's pretty goddamn clear. Fucking the fat electrician, old Nick, has got a goddamn binder. This fucking trapper keeper of doom of examples of where this didn't happen. But Rich should have just typed a memo and sent it on up, so you could ignore it, and what? This guy would still be going nuts because he's not allowed to help kids because the other people who are supposed to help them, the schools, the teachers, the administrators, are stonewalling them. They're fucking the kids over. And Rich is a little pissed about it. I can't imagine the fuck why. Seriously, Bobby. You are absolutely brain dead. And you want proof? You want proof that you're brain dead, Bob? I'm going to give you some proof. Because, see, this was WGRZ that he was talking to in this clip. And I got a little bit more from WGRZ. Same interview. And Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good.
I mean, just the overwhelming number of contacts by Buffalo school administrators to Buffalo Police Department contradicts these salacious claims.
Actually, the numbers came from last week's Channel 2 report after reporter Nate Benson filed a Freedom of Information request with Buffalo Police. So to the Administrators Union after the school board sought.
All right, so Bobby's saying, the sheer number kind of disproves what Rich was saying, except that it fucking doesn't. All right? Rich never said the police were never called. In fact, he explicitly goes into detail about how the police are called a lot of times, and the report is just what they call information only. It's just putting down stuff on paper so that there is a paper trail, and then it's filed. It does not kick off an investigation, right? This is a problem because sexual assault kind of needs a fucking investigation, right? Well, WGRZ, who has been absolute shit in a lot of ways, except for that gentleman, Nate Benson, so far the only decent news journalist I've seen in Buffalo, New York. Nate, if you're watching this, shout out to you for actually doing work. When you uncovered how many calls, I thought you were trying to discredit Rich, but the fact is, you're just going where the facts are going, and I respect the shit out of it. To steal from Rich a little bit, you deserve a pat on the back, right? Anyways, WGRZ decided to look at that data they got from their Freedom of Information request. They looked at these calls, and guess what they found? Yeah, they basically were able to call bullshit on the whole fucking thing. Watch this clip.
And some of the data we've uncovered would seem to support that. Last week we told you there were more than 17,770 incidents at Buffalo Public Schools between September 2021 and April 29, 2025. 54% of those were labeled as miscellaneous or a vague school other category. We went back and looked at some of the recent incidents at the schools that were high profile enough for the district to send out a press release. The incident on April 1st, where 2 students ingested THC gummies and a teacher was placed on administrative leave, was labeled as school other when police were called. The incident on February 12th, where someone entered the Charles R. Drew Magnet School, approached a child, and allegedly attacked a staff member, also labeled as school other.
And for the record, that last one was the double kidnapping attempt that, there should be closed circuit TV footage of, but there apparently fucking isn't. Bob, I get that your job is to defend the schools. You're their attorney. That's what they pay you to do. And you fucking suck at it. All right? You just absolutely goddamn suck at the job. You think Rich should have sent a memo. You do not even comprehend the fact that so many calls are not categorized properly. The THC gummies, I hate to break it to you, Bob, there is actually a 911 dispatch code for narcotics. There is one for drugs. There's one for assault. There's one for kidnapping. Little trivial things. Right? And they weren't used. Why? That's a great question. Now, that sounds to me like, actually, one thing Rich said was that when a school resource officer is involved, that oftentimes there isn't a code. Or actually, that's one of the other news reports. But for information-only reports, there probably isn't going to be, hey, we just need someone out here to take down some information. Okay. Jesus Christ, these are children. They're fucking kids. They are children. Right? And I swear to God, every time teachers get knee-deep into anything, they talk about how important the kids are. Don't bring that shit to me again, Buffalo. Buffalo school teachers, Buffalo administrators, don't bring that shit to me. Right? Because I'm hearing some terrifying fucking shit. And I maybe start hearing some of it from Buffalo directly, from some teachers there. Right? God knows the unsubscribed crew, who has a much bigger reach than me, has tons of evidence. The good old fat electrician actually said when the third-party investigation kicks off, he's just going to hand them a goddamn binder full of shit. Their job's over. All they got to do is vet it, make sure it's legit. If they don't take it, they're in on the cover-up. And considering who's paying the bill for that third-party investigation, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. Look, this shit matters because these kids are hurt. A lot of times the kids who are hurting them have been hurt themselves. But regardless, the victims are uniformly hurt. They need help. They need treatment, right? They need to be heard. And those who hurt them deserve punishment. If they also need treatment, yeah, let's get it for them, but they need to be punished too. They shouldn't be let believe this is acceptable. And these kids can't even trust that their teachers will have their back. They can't trust that the administrators, the people who are supposed to be in charge of keeping them safe, give a shit about keeping them safe. On Sunday, I talked about, how I had to stand with Rich. Talking with him, I know it matters to him. It matters to me. I've already pledged to give every penny I make off of this to the same charity the Unsub guys are doing, and I'm going to keep with that. It's not shaping up to be as much as I thought it would be, but it's still what I make. And I'm going to keep with that. Because I have a soul. And my soul is telling me that not doing more is slimy. It's wrong. Because I was hurt and I don't want anyone else hurt. And for Bobby there to pull that shit pisses me off. But it's not all he did. No. See, I'm not going to go and fish out the file, but he started talking about potential litigation. Now, who's he going to sue? Can't sue me. Well, he could, but he'd be pointless because I'm reporting what Rich tells me. I have every reason to trust what Rich is telling me. Rich is telling the truth. The Unsub guys hosted Rich. They're pretty much in the clear, but it doesn't matter because Rich told the truth. Truth is an absolute defense against libel or slander. Absolute defense. And the fact is, every bit of evidence we've seen from either Nate Benson or that the fat electrician and the Unsub guys have put together, all of that is pointing to Rich telling the truth. But let's say you decide to sue. Right, Bob? Let's say you got the balls to go for this. You are definitely the most retarded person to ever graduate law school, right? And I say that knowing people like Jasmine Crockett have graduated. You've got 5 guys here who all have, let's just say, means, right? They are all very successful people. All of the Unsub guys. Rich just bought his 3rd fire truck that he uses for morale, for veteran morale. He bought 3 fire trucks for this shit, just for fun, because he thinks it's cool. And he can do good stuff with it. Right? You've got the fat electrician who keeps buying into every goddamn company that comes across his way. Like, Jesus Christ, I'm pretty sure he owns half of me. You've got Brandon Herrera, who buys more fucking guns of expensive machine guns than anybody on YouTube, probably. And yeah, he's not slowing down anytime soon. And you got the donut operator who, if you ever watch his blog, his house ain't exactly slacking. He just decided on a whim to buy a new Tesla. And he owns a skateboard shop that he doesn't give 2 shits if it actually makes a profit for him. Oh, yeah, and let's not forget about Eli, who drives a McLaren and a Hummer. Those are just the vehicles I know about. And I don't hang out with these guys, which means God knows what else is there. So these guys all have means. But more than that, they have a rabid fan base that will crowdfund their legal defense. The way I describe that on X is they would crowdfund an effort that will shatter nations. because there is no way they're not going to have their back. These guys raised almost $150,000 last year for autism just by selling some t-shirts. Do you think that where their back is against the wall, they're not going to raise so much more? You try that, and I am going to definitely pop some fucking popcorn and laugh and live my best life watching you guys get fucked. Because, yeah, there's no defending this. There's none. You have no defense. Talking about litigation is nothing more than a way to try to scare Rich into clamming up. Now, I don't know him very well, but if he was really worried, if he was really going to be scared easily, do you think the threat to his job that he believed existed when he started talking that day, do you really think if that didn't shut him up, you talking about some vague lawsuit that he's not even going to have to pay to defend, you think that is going to scare him? Bobby, you shouldn't never mistake the paint chips for cornflakes. Okay? How about that? But, that's my take on this shit. I want to know what you think. Go down in the comments. Let me know. You stand with AngryCops? You stand with the unsub guys? Do you think Bobby is completely and totally out of his depth? Or, hey, maybe we're all in the wrong and you're in the right. Don't care. Put it down there anyways because what the hell? All right? While you're down there, do me a favor, hit like, subscribe, notification bell, all that jazz. My coffee link is down below. If you guys want to support me, that's probably the only way you can do it just now because I am not yet monetized. And in the meantime, I'm going to wrap this one up, and I will see you all in the next video.